iOS and Android.
Right now at 5, the Miners Hall Museum held a presentation called West Mineral Mining History.
And we've got a few remaining showers and thunderstorms out there. Lots of lightning with some of these storms. We'll have a look at your forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a local organization knew the perfect way to bring a community together. We'll tell you how.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we had some severe weather in the 4 states last night. Thankfully, not as intense as what they got out west. And we do still have a few thunderstorms remaining today. We have an alert day for Tuesday as we are looking at the potential for some more significant severe weather. The good news is, at least for today, once this round of rain and showers and storms moves out, rest of our day looks pretty good. It won't be until tomorrow afternoon that we see additional severe weather. Let's start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And we're going to show you where all this thunderstorm activity is. And you can see showers, thunderstorms. Again, these storms have been fairly electrical. So while we haven't seen a lot of lightning, for example, around the Joplin area, the lightning we do see has been pretty intense. So of course, we've reminded you more than once of how dangerous lightning can be. So we'll start in southeast Kansas, where we're starting to get just a few remaining showers. We're getting in on the back end of all this. Still some heavy rain, Girard, Pittsburgh, down to Columbus, and into parts of Chautauqua County out there. And as we head into northeastern Oklahoma, very heavy rainfall still across virtually every county up in northeast Oklahoma. So Miami, Veneta, Chelsea, Newada, Lenapaw, Grove, and as you can see, some lightning strikes. As we cross over to southwest Missouri, some heavy rainfall from Lamar down 49 into Neosho. And then we've got a pretty heavy thunderstorm down here in McDonald County. It is not severe by any means, but as you can see, it is also producing quite a bit of lightning out there this morning. In fact, we can do a quick count. So that's 35 lightning strikes within the last few minutes there in McDonald County. So again, a fair amount of lightning, and as we've reminded you, lightning is dangerous, lightning is deadly. You need to be careful out there. We're not expecting really anything in the way of redevelopment. We're going to get these showers and storms out of here, and then we are going to clear out. We do, however, at least for now, still have a severe thunderstorm watch for northeastern Oklahoma until 6 o'clock in the morning. But as you see, we don't have any warnings associated with any of this activity. Over the next few days, we have a low end risk for some strong to severe storms late today. And I'm going to be honest with you, really, this is a very isolated risk. Most of us won't see anything. And I think even what we do see won't really turn into much. The greater severe threat is going to be off to our northwest. However, tomorrow we have an elevated to enhanced risk that it covers the entire area. And as we head into Wednesday, we have another low to elevated risk. And unfortunately, these aren't the only severe weather days we could have this week. Quick look outside, 65 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh. Showers, thunderstorms out there, of course. Temperatures around the region. Some of us where it's been dry a little longer, say southeast Kansas, we've got low to mid 70s. The rest of us hanging out right around the mid 60s. Kids getting on the bus. We're still going to have a few of these showers and thunderstorms, a bit breezy, south winds 5 to 10, occasional gusts to 20, right about 70. And by the time the bus brings them home, we're looking at mostly clear skies, still some occasional gusts up to 30 out of the south. Look at that temperature though, well above average, 85. And we are on track for highs well above normal today as we go mid, maybe even upper 80s. And we'll have gradual clearing. These storms again clearing out 9, 10, 11 o'clock at the latest. And then again, clouds will clear, mostly clear skies by this evening. We'll take another full look at your forecast, break down the additional strong to severe thunderstorms we have, and talk about tomorrow's alert day here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. A situation involving a man threatening to jump off a bridge in Joplin has been resolved. Law enforcement were alerted Saturday night at around 7:30 p.m. to a man straddling a railing over the I-44 exit 13 off Prigmore Avenue. Officials say the man was experiencing a mental health emergency. Both lanes of traffic were diverted while the situation resumed. Officers spoke to the man from a distance and were able to get them away from the edge after about an hour. The man was not injured and was transported to the hospital for a mental evaluation. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Miners Hall Museum held a presentation Sunday called West Mineral Mining History about strip mining, shaft mining, and the Big Brutus Museum. Presenters included Jimmy Lovell, Carmen Bosia. Attendees say it's a great opportunity to expand their knowledge about the area.
This history, this is why everybody's here, is coal mining. And at one point, I think this area produced 1/3 of the United States coal. So without that history, I don't think Pittsburgh and Weir and West Mineral, would be here. So I think it's an important part of the background of this community.
Behind there.
One organization is using food to help bring together the community. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how an international potluck is helping people share their culture with others.
A meal. Everyone has their favorite. One that might remind them of a trip and experience. Or more often, one that reminds them of home and family.
Everybody talks about the universal language. I think that the universal language can be brought down to food too. Everybody's wanting to try something a little different.
RAISE is a nonprofit organization that helps support area immigrants and refugees. They invited the community to an international potluck, where people were encouraged to come and experience new dishes and meet people from all around the world.
By bringing them in and letting them see these families and these individuals that have come from such a hard life but are so passionate and so excited to be here in the United States and to get to have this time to connect with each other is just a really big role that RAISE wants to play.
The potluck did not cost any money to attend, and community members were not required to bring a dish to participate. Organizers say they were inspired to hold the event to help the community better connect with each other.
It's kind of one of those things that just stretches across all cultures. Everybody needs to eat, and it's really intimate. Eating is something that you do with your family, and so I think when you invite people to eat with you, you're saying, hey, you're a part of my family and I want to spend this time with you.
Attendees say the international potluck is a great way to try new things that they may not have had the chance to do so before, all while helping people feel a little more at home.
I knew that I wanted to reach out to people who maybe didn't feel like they've fully settled into our community yet and learn about their stories and other cultures and where they've came from.
Reporting in Webb City, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Organizers from Rain say they hope to hold similar events in the future to help further unite the community. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up in the KOAM Morning News. The Kansas City Royals and St. Louis each look to finish the weekend with a sweep. Plus, a bright flash from a comet lights up the sky in parts of Europe. And we're tracking severe thunderstorms. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Four states.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Wanted to take a quick moment. So some of you folks in Southeast Kansas, especially in Chanute, may have just noticed this right after we went on the air, when a measured wind gust of 64 miles an hour in Chanute at the airport. So here's what's going on real quick. Meteorologists at the National Weather Service in Wichita believe Chanute and the surrounding areas have experienced what's known as a heat burst. It happens with decaying thunderstorms. Temperatures at the surface suddenly rise, dew points drop, and you get significant winds. And so for Allen, Montgomery County, Labette County, Neosho, Wilson, and Woodson counties, they've put out a notice that we are starting to see some very strong southerly winds, not directly associated with thunderstorm activity, roughly 40, 50, 55 miles an hour, but some of those gusts could be a little stronger. So if you're out this morning and you're noticing this wind pickup in parts of southeast Kansas, it's not associated with an actual severe thunderstorm, but wind gusts increasing out there with this associated heat burst. So do be aware of that if you're heading out this morning. Now we're going to carry on with sports, and the St. Louis Cardinals have not had the season they were hoping for thus far. However, St. Louis has won 5 of their last 6 games entering Sunday afternoon. Cardinals are trying to sweep the Boston Red Sox, who are in town. Top of the first, former Cardinal Tyler O'Neill swings away. That ball is long gone, and it's a solo home run to put Boston up 1-0. Red Sox lead 4-0 in the 4th inning, but Lars Nootbaar puts the Redbirds on the board with a solo home run past the bullpen, and that makes it a 4-1 game. So we go to the 6th inning, Boston leading 7-1. Rafael Devers puts this game out of reach with a 2-run homer in the bleachers. Red Sox win the series finale 11-3. Royals versus A's in Kansas City. First inning, Bobby Witt Jr. nearly misses a home run. Garcia scores and the Royals lead 1-0. Next batter, Salvador Perez hits a rocket up the middle. Jr. scores easily. The captain gets the Royals a 2-0 lead, and that's just the way you want to start this one. Bottom of the 5th, Royals leading 2-1. Michael Garcia is going to hit one to the warning tracks as it bounces off the wall. That drives in another run after the RBI double. Kansas City leading 3-1. Royals up 4-1 in the 6th inning. Vinny Pasquantino comes off the bench to hit with the bases loaded. He keeps this fair down the line. Everyone will come in to score after a 3-run triple. Kansas City sweeps the A's. Royals win the finale 8-4. Well, how about some spring football? St. Louis Battlehawks versus the DC Defenders. Fourth quarter, St. Louis is down 21-20, but former NFL running back Wayne Gallman picks up 38 yards on the screen. 3rd and goal with 2 minutes left in the game. Gallman powers his way into the end zone, and the Battlehawks take the lead. St. Louis is now up 26-21. With a minute left in the game, Defenders are on the move, and it's the former St. Louis quarterback Jordan Ta'amu who is sacked. He would lead the game with an injury. That sets up 4th and 24. Last chance for DC. New quarterback is in the game and never really stood a chance, just trying to buy some time. Pass is complete, but there's a fumble on the play, and the Battlehawks eventually recover this. St. Louis wins the game 26-21. Battlehawks are tied for first place in the XFL standings. First round of Division I softball regionals wrap up this weekend. Many of the regional Division I schools in our area are on their way to super regionals. No surprise, as both Oklahoma schools took care of business over the weekend. The Oklahoma Sooners beat the Oregon Ducks 3-2. They'll host Florida State next weekend. Then the Oklahoma State Cowgirls swept through their regional. OSU beats Michigan 4-1, and they will host Arizona next week. Then the Missouri Tigers, who lost on Friday, had to battle back all weekend, but they get the job done. Missouri avoids elimination as they defeat Nebraska Omaha 1-0. Tigers will host Duke for the weekend Super Regionals. Still to come, parents are advised to take a closer look at what they feed their kids when it comes to ultra-processed foods. I'm going to take another look at this forecast, let you know what's going on when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:18 on this Monday morning. We've got some showers and thunderstorms out there across parts of the area. We're going to start in southeast Kansas as most of the shower activity slowly starting to wrap up. Still some heavier rain around Girard, Pittsburgh, southern Cherokee County along 166, so Baxter Springs, Riverton, Galena. Got a little thunderstorm north of Sedan out there in Chautauqua County. Still some pretty heavy rain down into northeastern Oklahoma, all of our counties there. Miami, Veneta, Grove, Jay, Langley, Chelsea, Lenapaw, Newata, all getting in on some heavy rain and some lightning out there. And regardless of how much lightning you're seeing, it can still be dangerous. I'm going to back this up real quick because this is the cell. Again, it is not severe by any means, but it is putting out a lot of dangerous lightning. And we can do another quick count on just how much lightning we're seeing with this. So we're up to 51 strikes between Newton and McDonald counties out there. So Cassville, Seligman, Monette, get ready for some very electrical thunderstorms rolling through. Now, the next thing I want to take a moment to mention, and just because my short-term memory is non-existent, I wrote this down. So there was a heat burst. See, there's no thunderstorm activity in Chanute, but a heat burst. That's where surface temperatures rise suddenly, dew points fall. It's usually from decaying thunderstorms. Caused a 64-mile-an-hour wind gust at the Chanute Airport. National Weather Service office in Wichita is expecting very strong southerly winds. They expect most gusts not to exceed about 55 miles an hour, but some stronger gusts will be possible. So they've gone ahead and put Allen, Montgomery County, Labette, Neosho, Wilson, and Woodson under what they call a special weather statement or a significant weather advisory simply because we're getting these very intense southerly winds back behind these showers. National Weather Service in Springfield, which monitors Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties and into southwest Missouri, is keeping an eye on this as well, because some of those winds from these decaying thunderstorms could roll to the east a bit. And so be prepared out ahead of this zone for the possibility for some significant wind gusts that aren't related to any thunderstorms. We still do have that severe thunderstorm watch in northeastern Oklahoma until 6, but again, no warnings of any kind out there in terms of severe weather, which is good news. Now today, low wind risk for a strong storm or two with tornado threat, wind threat, and hail threat. However, I do believe most of us are going to remain dry. The worst of the activity, most of the activity should be off to our north and northwest. Our better chances come tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have an alert day. We have an elevated to enhanced risk across the entire area on Tuesday, and we have a low to elevated risk on Wednesday. So let's look down the road. So here again, by this afternoon, as you can see, a few stray showers. There's the possibility one or two of those could become strong, the low grade severe, but even if they did, they are very short-lived out there. And then that's that other round of activity just barely clipping our northern counties. So I believe with tonight's activity and this afternoon's activity, most of us will be dry and we're going to be relatively pleasant. These storms will clear out by late morning across the area. We're going to be very warm out there today as well. So here we are tomorrow evening around 3 to 5. We start seeing thunderstorm initiation, and this is where that threat for strong to severe thunderstorms will come in, and it should be out of here by 10. And then as we go into Wednesday, we're going to see another round of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms out there. Even as early as the morning, we could see a morning round and then see a stronger round by late afternoon and into the evening hours. So a lot to keep an eye on across the area over the next couple of days. Again, today, upper 80s for our highs out there, mid 80s tomorrow. We have that alert day for those thunderstorm chances. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Some of these storm chances could be strong, potentially severe as well as we head into the weekend. And we'll get a break in activity hopefully by the middle of next week, but a lot of days to watch for thunderstorm chances. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
We take pride in serving our live.
Topping Health Watch this morning, parents are advised to take a closer look at what they feed their kids. A study published Friday in JAMA Network Open says children who eat ultra-processed foods are more likely to have significant health problems as adults. Those include heart attack, diabetes, and stroke. The findings are based on more than 1,400 children between 3 and 6 years old in Spain. Ultra-processed foods like chips, chicken nuggets, and soft drinks often have preservatives that improve taste and fight bacteria. Researchers advise parents to add more nutritious foods, including fresh fruit and vegetables, to their children's diets. Well, Friday marked 1 year since a historic slate of abortion restrictions passed in North Carolina. The law makes it illegal to get or provide an abortion after 12 weeks of pregnancy, with few exceptions. Getting one requires 2 in-person visits, with the longest waiting period in the country between those visits only tied with Utah at 72 hours. Now the law's full impact is becoming more clear for both supporters and opponents. Lena Tillett talked to abortion providers and an anti-abortion advocate about the law's impact.
Hearing none, question for the Senate is a passage.
It took 2 weeks for the state legislature to undo decades of abortion rights in North Carolina last year. In the months since, abortion providers like OBGYN Amy Bryant find themselves facing difficult decisions every day.
It is just so detrimental to patient care and the patient-physician relationship to have these bans in place.
Dr. Bryant has provided abortion care at a Planned Parenthood clinic in Chapel Hill for 15 years. She recalls one difficult conversation with a single mom of 2 who fell just outside of 12 weeks.
And it was just, both of us were sitting in the room crying, like, oh. It's just so hard to be able to know you could care for someone and to have to turn them away. And I don't know what happened to her.
The state's abortion law makes it illegal to get or provide an abortion after 12 weeks of pregnancy, with few exceptions. It requires 2 in-person visits, and it puts in place the longest waiting period in the country between those visits, tied only with Utah at 72 hours. Dr. Bryant says most of her patients are working mothers, so dedicating up to 5 days is often not possible.
Who does this affect the most?
Well, it clearly affects the most the people who are the most vulnerable and marginalized, those who have the least access to health care in the first place.
We should be concerned about helping women choose life instead of choosing abortion.
Tammy Fitzgerald with North Carolina Values Coalition is proud of the advocacy that helped lead to the state's abortion law, but she wants more restrictions.
We believe that 12 weeks is too long. Most abortions in North Carolina, 90% of abortions are done before 12 weeks of pregnancy.
In cases of women with dangerous complications in their pregnancy, there are 3 exceptions to the 12-week limit: for rape or incest, a life-limiting fetal anomaly, or to protect the life of the mother. The state is notified about each exception. Names and addresses are not included on these forms. Dr. Bryant also says she hasn't yet been turned down for an exception by the state.
The fact that it's more difficult is also the point of this law. Is it working?
Ironically, I don't think it is. There is demand for abortion.
Last week, the Society of Family Planning released its latest report tracking abortions state by state. In North Carolina, it showed a steep drop in the immediate months after the law went into effect. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got some scattered thunderstorms across the area this morning. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Olson's Ace Hardware in Parsons.
Right now at 5:30, the 2024 March for Jesus makes its way through downtown Joplin. Plus, we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. Some very gusty winds with some decaying thunderstorms in southeast Kansas. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up. Plus, the fourth annual Sheed Farm Homestead Festival took place Saturday in Garland, Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now almost 5:32 on this Monday morning here in the 4 states. I'm Chris Warner. We are keeping an eye on some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there and wanted to pass along. Chanute Martin Johnson Airport recorded a 64-mile-an-hour wind gust about 30 minutes ago, and that's associated with what's known as a heat burst. It's where temperatures at the surface rise, dew points fall, and it's a result of decaying thunderstorms. And now across a good portion of southeast Kansas, some very gusty winds are entirely possible. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. They're not directly associated with any active thunderstorms. That's why there's no severe thunderstorm warnings with this, but we could see some very gusty winds upwards of 55, potentially 60 miles an hour for some of southeast Kansas. Let's start with a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and you can see where we've got the showers, we've got some thunderstorms out there. In the less organized shower or heavy rain activity, we'll occasionally get what you're seeing. See these dark gray lightning bolts? These are lightning strikes that occurred almost at the same time, within minutes of each other, but they've also it's been several minutes since they happened. Anything that's got the white is a little bit newer. And we keep seeing that with some of this heavier rain where we'll see a brief flare up and lightning strikes, and then it'll kind of settle down again. And then we've had relatively active lightning now into the Monette area, Cassville, with a more organized thunderstorm. And it's rolling through parts of Berry County. So into southeast Kansas, we had this little guy flare up near Sedan. Again, not severe, but bringing some additional lightning, some heavier rain. Throughout this entire zone here is where we've got the opportunity for some of those very gusty south winds, and we're keeping an eye on that. Those winds could make their way a little further east. So Girard, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Baxter Springs, Galena, Riverton, maybe even as far east as Carl Junction, Asbury, Joplin. You want to watch out, want to be paying attention for these gusty winds because, again, they're not associated with an actual thunderstorm out there. They're just very gusty winds from dying thunderstorms. Northeastern Oklahoma still getting in on some pretty moderate rainfall. Lenapaw, Nawada, Veneta, Chelsea, Grove, Miami, Indigo Sky Casino over there. If you're out this morning, be aware of these wet spots. And there's all these older lightning strikes. Again, it flares up, and then the lightning activity kind of dies back down again. The only area that's not been a problem is with this actual thunderstorm. Again, not severe, but here into Monette, Cassville, Seligman, starting to roll through parts of Berry and into southern Lawrence counties out there, just south of I-44. Lots of lightning with that. And again, can't emphasize enough, lightning, severe weather or not, is dangerous and potentially deadly. So we'll keep an eye on activity out to the west. We're not anticipating any more redevelopment or any additional significant weather this morning, but we could see a few additional thunderstorms here and there. We still do, at least for now, have that severe thunderstorm watch through 6 a.m. for northeastern Oklahoma. They have not canceled that yet, but we don't have any associated warnings in that area either, which is good news. We do have a low-end risk for some stronger storms in our northern counties this afternoon and early evening, but in all honesty, based on the latest data, if we see anything, it's barely going to clip us. The worst of the weather will stay off to our north, but we do have an alert day tomorrow. We have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the entire area Tuesday. That's why we have this alert day. Best chances right now look to be roughly between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. And then we have a low to elevated risk for more severe weather, at least for some of us, on Wednesday, and that may not be the only severe weather days we see. Quick look at temperatures. 64 Joplin and Pittsburgh. We've got rain. We've had some thunderstorm activity out there. Temperatures around the region. See, this is where that heat burst was. We've got low to mid 70s in parts of southeast Kansas while everyone else is in the mid 60s. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Again, some scattered thunderstorms, 70. South breeze occasionally gusting to 20. That south breeze occasionally gusting to 30 this afternoon, and will be 85 when the bus brings the kids home. Thunderstorms could continue in scattered, isolated to scattered form through about 10, 11 o'clock this morning. Then skies will clear heading into the afternoon, and we're looking at temperatures well above average into the mid, even upper 80s. We'll have another complete look at your forecast and talk about those thunderstorm chances tomorrow and Wednesday here in just a few minutes. Switching over to news this morning, the 4th annual Shade Farm Homestead Festival took place Saturday in Garland, Kansas. The festival allows patrons to experience how things were done in the good old days. Those who attended also got to visit a wide array of vendors and participate in activities for all ages and even get a tour of the farm.
The festival gave us an way to introduce a lot of ways that we have lived a sustainable lifestyle for 45 years. And by that I mean a sustainable lifestyle is one that we can live here off the farm and not have to go to the grocery store. And we know where our food comes. We know it's all organic.
The festival took place from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. PetSense Pittsburgh held a dog trainer meet and greet Sunday afternoon. The event was free to all attendees and allows them to learn more about dog trainers and the services they provide. Those who attended were able to ask questions and seek advice with an experienced dog trainer as well as view demonstrations.
I'm excited about the opportunity to just kind of get my business and our information out there to the public. I've been teaching these classes for almost 8 years now, and so I have had a chance to work with a large part of the community, but I think that we're trying to kind of make sure everyone in our community knows that we're here and a resource to them when they're working with their dog.
Sunday's event took place from 2 to 5. Well, March for Jesus 2024 took place in Joplin Saturday. Residents from all over the Joplin area were able to come and spend time together as the group marched from 7th and Main down to Landreth Park. Those who participated were encouraged to bring flags, worship banners, and of course, comfortable walking shoes.
My favorite part of today is just getting to be with people of my same belief and communicating with them, fellowshipping with them. Being just around people that believe, they have the same beliefs that I have, and also being able to speak to others. I like people.
The march began at 9 Saturday morning. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Iranian state media is reporting that the country's president is dead after his helicopter crashed. Plus, the U.S. is increasing pressure for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch this morning, a bright flash from a comet lights up the sky in parts of Europe. People in Spain and Portugal were treated to bright blue and green colors filling the sky on Saturday night. European Space Agency says a small piece of a comet flew by at 28 miles per second before it burned up over the Atlantic Ocean. Iranian state media is reporting that the country's president is dead after his helicopter crashed yesterday. Iran's state television reports President Ibrahim Raisi and other senior officials, including the country's foreign minister, were found dead at the site of the crash. The helicopter crashed in the foggy mountainous region of northwest Iran. Iran state media reports rescuers began searching for the helicopter this morning but could not detect any signs of life. The crash comes as the Middle East remains unsettled as the war between Israel and Hamas continues. Raisi was 63 years old. In the U.S., increasing pressure for a ceasefire as the war between Israel and Hamas approaches its 8th month. Lucas Tomlinson is at the White House with the latest.
Smoke rising over the Gaza Strip Sunday after an Israeli airstrike reportedly killed at least 27 people, mostly women and children. In Jerusalem, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, part of a new push to secure a ceasefire deal in Gaza.
It's a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. That's why I've called for an immediate ceasefire.
During a commencement address at Morehouse College in Atlanta, President Biden said his administration is working on a deal to end the fighting altogether and build a lasting and durable peace as the war between Israel and Hamas nears its 8th month.
What's happening in Gaza and Israel is heartbreaking.
On Fox News Sunday, House Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik, speaking from Jerusalem, blasted the Biden administration's decision to curb delivery of some weapons to Israel.
We want to make sure Israel has all the resources, no equivocation when it comes to eradicating Hamas.
Senate Democrat John Fetterman also reaffirmed his support for Israel.
I think it's important that America stands with our very, very critical ally.
A member of Israel's war cabinet and a key rival of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has threatened to quit if Israel doesn't come up with a better plan for Gaza.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
If there's one thing we like, it's Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:46 now on this Monday morning. We've still got some showers and some thunderstorms across the area, and these will continue at least for the next few hours for some of us. We're going to start in southeast Kansas. Again, we're getting some gusty winds off some of these decaying thunderstorms. Earlier this morning, 64-mile-an-hour gust at Chanut's Martin Johnson Airport, and we've had those winds. They're starting to subside a bit, but still gusting upwards of 30, 40, potentially 50 miles an hour, and these winds will continue to push off to the east out of the south, so it's going to start to get a bit breezy. Columbus, Pittsburgh, Girard could make it as far east as Carl Junction, Joplin, Webb City, Oronogo. So do be aware of that this morning. Got a little thunderstorm now just to the east of Sedan, southwest of Independence, getting ready to roll through Montgomery County. Into northeast Oklahoma, still some moderate rain, still some lightning strikes. And we talked about this earlier. We'll see flare-ups where there will be a number of lightning strikes in the moderate rain back here. And then it kind of calms back down and flares back up. But do remember, lightning dangerous and deadly. Otherwise, moderate rainfall across a good portion of northeastern Oklahoma. So here's all this activity as it continues to roll on out. This little cell kind of rotated back to the northeast. Again, not severe. It's in the Berry and Lawrence counties now with a lot of dangerous lightning out there. So Monette, Mount Vernon, do be aware of all of that lightning this morning. In fact, we can take a closer look at that thunderstorm that is continuing to lift off to the northeast and will eventually make its way into Springfield. So your thunderstorm watch does still continue through 6 a.m. for northeastern Oklahoma, but again, no active warnings within that watch. Today is a very conditional threat for a strong storm or two across the northern half of our area. Now, as you can see, it's a low risk, but all hazards are possible. But in all honesty, at this point, it's looking as though we could see a few stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm in our far northern counties this afternoon. 90% of us, 95% of us will probably be dry, and any of the stronger storms should stay really to our north. Tomorrow, though, we have an alert day as we've got an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the entire area as we head into our Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a low to elevated risk, kind of along I-44 and points south out there, so a lot we've still got to keep an eye on. So let's take a look at the future track. Here we are at noon. Again, a few isolated showers possible in our far northern counties. The majority of us are dry and skies will begin to clear out. Again, the last of the showers and storms from this morning should be out of here by 10 a.m. 11 at the absolute latest. We're also going to be well above average. Take a look at Bartlesville, for example, 90 degrees. The rest of us mid-upper 80s out there, southerly winds occasionally gusting. And there's additional showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two clipping our far northern counties again as we head into the afternoon. But the majority of us, I do believe, are going to remain dry. Now, our Tuesday, we start off not bad. A few stray showers here and there. Still well above average temperatures into the mid to upper 80s, and then we're going to see showers and thunderstorms increasing across the area. And initially, some of these could be supercells with a possibility of a brief tornado out there. But the greater threat's going to turn into wind and hail as we get a line of showers and thunderstorms by late evening across the area, starting to sink off to the south and east. So here we are at 7. You can see where those thunderstorms are, and that'll continue to slide off to the south and east. Then we head into our Wednesday. More thunderstorm chances, more so throughout the day. And some of these, again, could be strong, potentially severe out there. And this is going to be, as you can see, through the morning. Here we are at 10 a.m. We've still got showers and storms by noon. And as we head into the afternoon, those storms could intensify. And that's where we could see that opportunity for additional strong to severe thunderstorms. We have thunderstorm chances as well for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And some of those could be strong, potentially severe. So we've got to keep an eye on all of that. Again, upper 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. A little cooler by Wednesday. We'll start warming up again heading into the weekend with those rain chances and might get a break by next Tuesday and Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
For the full weekend event schedule, visit FortScottGoodOldDays.com.
A semi-truck driver narrowly dodges disaster. In today's Take a Look at This, Patrick Cornell shows us the extremely close call.
Stunning new dashcam shows the moment a crash causes a semi-driver to burst through a guardrail, dangling off a bridge above the churning waters of the Ohio River in Louisville, Kentucky. Back in March, we watched first responders heroically rescue that driver as she sat suspended in mid-air for nearly an hour. This newly released video gives us a glimpse at what happened. Police say a truck hit a stalled car, swerving into the semi, sending it careening off the edge of the Clark Memorial Bridge. Barely hanging on, the camera staring straight down as debris crashes into the river. Officials say the semi-driver escaped with non-life-threatening injuries, and the truck driver is now facing charges for his role in the accident. Staying with roadway rescues, this ornery alligator had to be told twice not to play in traffic. During the day, deputies with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina got the gator off the highway, but did that animal listen to reason? Absolutely not. It parked itself on the pavement once again when it got dark for what appears to be a game of tug of war. Its mother would be so disappointed. Deputies doing their best to drag the beast back off the street and into a safer spot. They were finally able to move the stubborn alligator away from the highway, but certainly not without a fight. Oh, we're not done with these pesky problems. Down in Florida, another gator sauntered into the street for a siesta. Deputies in Hillsborough County spotted the 9-foot-long creature and called for backup. Along with members from Florida Fish and Wildlife, they were able to capture the critter, load it up into a truck, and drive it away to a much safer spot. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
It's a little bit terrifying having gators out in the middle of the street, and that truck, boy, it's amazing that driver was able to make it away with just non-life-threatening injuries. We'll be right back.
More than 28,000 children in Kansas lost their Medicaid coverage this year. The community...
Well, a cat in Vermont gets an honorary degree. Vermont University has bestowed the honorary degree of Doctor of Litter on Max the cat, a beloved member of its community. School officials say they are honoring the feline for his friendliness. His human mom, Ashley Dow, says the school is like Max's second home. The popular tabby lives with his family a few streets away from the campus's main entrance. Max won't be participating in the graduation, though. His degree will be delivered to Dow and her family a little later. And pitmasters are in Memphis this weekend for 2 barbecue events. There's the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. 129 teams from 22 states and 4 foreign countries were competing for more than $150,000 in prize money. The 3 main categories are ribs, shoulder, and whole hog. The event is in its 46th year. Meanwhile, Smoke Slam, the world's ultimate barbecue competition, was also happening this weekend in Memphis. That event is in its inaugural year. And the severe thunderstorm watch northeast Oklahoma will expire at 6 o'clock. No severe weather out there at this moment, but some gusty winds into southeast Kansas this morning. Again, a few scattered to isolated storms could continue. 10, 11 at the absolute latest today. Will be about 80. Skies clearing as we head into the afternoon. An isolated storm or two possible in our northern counties. I do think most of us will remain dry, and we are well above average, mid, even upper 80s out there. Heading into tonight, we're going to stay partly cloudy to mostly clear and fall back into the low 70s for our overnight lows, so much warmer than where we should be. We do have an alert day tomorrow. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible on our Tuesday, mid 80s. More strong to severe thunderstorms possible Wednesday and even into the weekend as well, with those thunderstorm chances continuing. Back into the low 80s by this weekend, and hopefully a break from all the thunderstorm activity as we head into the middle of next week. Let's check your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.